I'm going to send it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week is Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Mark Medina,
hello,
and Jonathan Dornbush.
Beyond?
And we've got, no, that's incorrect. We've got a great show for you.
I'm rusty.
You have to leave.
Got a great show for you this week. We're going to talk about, there's this new game. I don't know if anyone else is aware. Spider-Man is out now.
Never heard of it.
And actually, if I look at my Twitter feed, it's actually all that anyone can talk about these days.
Yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Nintendo these days. Someone is worried Nintendo has lost its edge.
Yep.
We'll get to the bottom of this. But first, Mark, GameScoop 500 is less than a month away.
Yeah.
It's a sold-out event.
It is
true?
sold out.
It's-
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
100%.
exciting.
It's the television event of the year. Happening on October 5th, Friday.
I was with you up until it is sold out though. Yes. I get a bunch of there's like 107
Yeah,
tickets
it's sold out
because I
within-
get people like begging me on Twitter to open up more tickets and I'm sorry, I just can't keep doing it, but I did it for 7 people.
Yeah. So is it locked? Is it a hard lock now?
It's locked.
No one else.
Can't because
Even if they tried to bribe you. you're not-
the shirts are ordered.
Shirts
is-
are ordered,
is
Justin.
the biggest problem.
Justin, the shirts are ordered. What are they
Yeah,
gonna
that's
do?
just a phrase that we use in the biz. When an event-
The shirts
are
are
ordered, guys. I'm like, hey, Mark, is that video done? I'm like, the
shirts are ordered.
But-
Cool, good to know.
But wait, can I get the CMS link? What does that mean?
Well, it's like what's it? Anthony Mackie he plays a Falcon. He always says, "Cut the check."
Is that what
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's what he says. Yeah.
He actually annoys the other people because every time they do a good
shirts
take,
are
he's like,
ordered.
"Cut the check." So that's the shirts are ordered.
Anyway, that event is coming up. We're very much looking forward to seeing you all for that event. If you have any questions about it, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. Hit up Mark.
Yeah.
There's also the GameScoop fan page on Facebook. If you have any questions about like parking or hotels or anything we can do to help out.
Don't pester me with any of
Do
them.
not ask. Justin is way too busy
Yeah.
and much too important for.
He's just the
come
talent.
talk to me. Yeah.
He flies in for the event. Out the same.
Well, I mean, he lives in San Francisco, but
he
so he has
flies
a
in.
helicopter.
Yeah.
He has a
Still-
helicopter that picks him up from his home
Oh,
and brings
boy.
him here.
Man,
It's
I wish.
nighttime. He's wearing sunglasses, anyways. Just
I've never been on a helicopter. Any of you guys?
no.
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 Why did you have to think about that so long?
You don't know if you've been on a helicopter?
because they do helicopter tours in New York, so I was trying to think
You
if
don't know
I
if
did one
you
as a
did
kid.
one.
I don't think I ever did one.
I actually had to think about it for a sec because there was a gaming event where they did a lot of helicopter rides, and I declined.
Yeah.
No, my first plane ride was last year, so
Yeah, that's
definitely,
right, yeah.
definitely no helicopter.
I bet being in a helicopter is real loud. That's my impression of it.
why
I
they
mean,
give you
always
those
see,
earmuffs.
you always
Yeah.
see them where they
They have to yell at each other to talk. Anyway, we were mentioning Spider-Man. We found out this week. It hasn't even been out a week yet at the time of this recording. It's going to be getting a new game plus mode.
Yeah?
In the not too distant future. That's been confirmed, right? Now you had Brian Innehar right in here yesterday for a spoiler cast. Jonathan?
Yeah, for Beyond, we got a spoiler cast with the creative director of the game. That's
Yeah.
up now.
Did he say anything about the new game plus mode?
No, they're still keeping details really vague right now, but he said like they are very much paying attention not just with New Game Plus, but in general to like fan feedback with the game and whether people are encountering bugs or issues of that. Obviously, they have the 3 DLCs packs coming up. They're also going to be adding more to photo mode when that comes. So they're paying attention to, I think, everything the fans are taking in. My guess is that'll influence New Game Plus a bit.
But what are they going to do about the boat people?
The hard
blocky
tail of
boat
the boat
people.
people. Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, it's not my find. I found it on Reddit, like most people. And,
Like everything.
Basically, yeah, there's boat people that you can. It sounds so
boat
funny
people.
when you
The
say it like
boat
that.
people of New York.
Yeah, we knew there's boats in the game, but Spider-Man can't swim.
They're
Like,
far,
they're
far away in the distance.
And when you get in the water, he doesn't swim; he just floats.
Yeah.
And it's very slow. And so, we went out to one and turned on photo mode, and they literally look like characters from Goldeneye for instance.
There's like 4 polygons in the entire boat person.
And there's only like 2 faces.
And the photo mode lets you get like right up
real
next to 'em.
close to make cool comic book photos, all that. Some people are theorizing that it's not just like, I wouldn't say, they're saying that it's an Easter egg, but I don't know if I buy it.
What's
An
the
Easter egg.
The Easter egg is that it's from Spider-Man on PlayStation 1.
I don't know about
But they're
that.
like,
I think that's a
Remember
bit of
when,
a stretch.
They're
remember
like,
when
oh, it's what the
characters looked
character
this
models
bad?
look like.
I mean,
so.
I like the idea that the boat people are just canonical in this. They're like lizard people that are going to come up
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
ground and be in the
boat-
sequel. Like,
They're their
people.
own species.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson. Someone get him on the case.
I'm sure he'll have an opinion about that. So the 3 of you have finished Spider-Man.
Yes.
Right? It's great.
What would you want out of a new game plus mode?
Man,
I like the approach that God of Wars took with it, which is they obviously very much took their time with that. They
God of
didn't
War's
just
like
throw
the
it out.
best one ever.
It's so smart because they added, obviously you can start the game over and you have all of the armor that you accrue and everything like that, but they upgraded the level of the enemies to a certain extent and included a sort of new difficulty tier, as well as introduced a new sort of collectible that you could use as a resource.
New gear tier, new collectibles, the important thing is new enemy behaviors that you'll never see anywhere else in the game except in this difficulty. They do new stuff.
Yeah,
it's so smart and exciting, and like what a way to breathe new life into a single player game.
Yeah. I think there was a few crimes that I think I only saw like once in the entire game. I have the platinum trophy, and there's a specific crime where it was like these criminals broke out and you have to chase them all down. And I failed it on my first try because I'd never seen that crime before. I've never seen this, and so I think, and it was kind of cool after doing like 60 of them. I was like, hey, this one's a little different. And so I think that's something I'd like to see is like new takes on the collectibles you've already done.
The stuff that's already in there. Yeah, I had that crime. That was the final crime I encountered in the game when I was platinuming it, and that was the only time I ever saw it. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. I wish I could have done this a couple more times.
I'm a big fan of games that, and if they want to save it till a new game plus or after you beat the game, fair enough, but that just give you the keys and let you do whatever you want. Yeah. Even if it's going to break the game, like, just get silly with it. I bought it. I own it. I have the completion thing that shows I already, beat the game. So like GoldenEye, maybe that's just because GoldenEye's on my brain because we made that joke earlier, but like, hey, make enemy health 5 times what it was. Like, let's just put criminals all over the city.
Assassin's Creed Origins did that.
Yeah,
they came out with like a PC thing where it was like, you could just run super fast or you can change your character model.
Yeah, spawn alligators everywhere. Like, I'd like to see that in Spider-Man. Just let us make some completely sandboxy, insane version of New York if we want to.
New Game Plus is the only place you can see normal people on boats.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be
I want the boat people to be the pedestrians in the city.
It's inversed,
You can make everyone look like that. Even Spider-Man.
A boat version of Spider-Man.
That should be the secret suit.
He takes off the mask.
It's all super high res.
Put the mask back on.
It's just a giant block.
Now, not everyone was super stoked or reacting to this news super positively on IGN because some people think that New Game Plus mode should be standard in single-player games. It used to just be included. Back in the day, there were just games would just have a New Game Plus mode. No one made a big deal about it.
It not exist at all.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
I guess it's a second quest in Zelda. So there's a precedent here.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I like the idea of it coming a little later after a game has come out because one, it encourages me to revisit the game maybe when I'm done with it in a way that I wouldn't have wanted to otherwise. But also I think it does in the case of God of War or in the case maybe of Spider-Man, like it gives the developers actual time to see how players are reacting to their game and what they are most drawn to.
That's true.
And so they're able to, obviously they can't massively overhaul it, but they can possibly tweak the New Game Plus mode to actually be what players are interested in, more so just what they think players may want.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think if New Game Plus is just going to be like, hey, start the game over and you keep your shit, like, if they're doing something more special with it, then, take a month or 2 and get it right.
Yeah.
But otherwise, maybe it should be there at
launch. Being able to make Kratos smile.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I smiled at that point, but it's not like I wasn't just modeling it. I was just saying he can smile in New Game Plus.
What do you think about the cynical view that now the New Game Plus mode has been held back post-launch so that they get another marketing
for sure
beat?
I don't think it's that cynical. Like for a single-player game, it's tough to have you need to sell your game beyond the launch day. Like people have to keep buying that game for a few months for video games to exist as a business. So if it's creating value for people, giving them a reason to, giving GameScoop a reason to talk about it again, and IGN some reason to make some videos about it again, and more message board topics. But then if you have a major fan, it's an opportunity for them to re-engage with this product that you made in a new way. Like, I think it's wonderful.
And at the very least, I mean, it is a case-by-case basis in my mind, but something like Spider-Man probably doesn't need the extra PR boosts. Like
not right now, yeah.
It does pretty well on its own just with that property. But yeah, I agree with you. It does help keep that longevity alive, and whether that's intentional or not, it's a really smart approach.
There's an element of it just lets a winning game win more. But it would never turn like a losing game into a winning game. Like if you have a game that didn't sell well, that people don't care that much about, like releasing your New Game Plus mode 6 weeks later isn't like, we might not even cover it at that point.
I was trying to think of a game that bombed this year, a single player game that bombed, but couldn't really think of one. Has every single player game this year been well received?
Pretty
Well, I
good.
mean, that's why you can't think of one, is because, like, I don't know, like any game that didn't do well is just out of mind.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Then there's the fact that, we're always talking about on GameScoop how many games are coming out. We can't keep up with all these games.
Yep.
We're at the start of the fall season. Like, how often do you guys even play New Game Plus modes? Like, I don't think I can't remember the last time I did.
I don't even finish games usually.
I know you don't. Yeah.
I
wouldn't
did
say
finish
very
Spider-Man though.
It's like
And God of
cool
War.
that Spider-Man's getting a New Game Plus mode. I haven't even finished the main game yet. Not sure if I will this fall with everything else coming out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I popped into God of War just to see what it looked like to skip a cutscene because the whole point of that game, was like
that's seamless.
That was
the
it, yeah.
cutscenes are.
When I always assumed that the cutscenes were like masking loading time.
Yeah, I thought that too, and the fact that it's like it just takes a few beats and then it pops up, and then just to kind of see what it looks like to have the blades on your back from the very beginning of the game. I thought that was cool, but other than that, it's kind of like, nah, I was good.
Yeah, they're not a thing I go back to often. God of War was sort of an exception, but it is that thing of there are so many games coming out for us, and we need to be able to stay on top of all of that. I think for people who don't have the money or the ability to play all of those games, having something you love and having a new twist on it a month or two after is a nice.
Yeah, if it comes out in October or November, I can't think of a free second I would have to go back to Spider-Man.
That's true.
When I was
So many games.
when I was a kid and I got fewer games and like JRPGs were my favorite thing. Like New Game Plus was fun to just go in and stomp. It's just a romp, right? Like you're just going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's just sort of a cherry on top of like a fun experience. Like the stuff that gave you so much trouble the last time around is not really fun.
I'm reminded of Castlevania Symphony of the Night with the upside down castle. I think they should do that with Spider-Man.
Whoa.
Upside down New York.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the Doctor Strange game.
Yeah. So I would do two cool things. It'd make the web slinging make more sense because your webs are clinging to the ground, and then also you have to keep swinging or else you're just gonna fall.
You just fall to your.
You just fall to where?
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Think about that.
That really confuses me.
It's the Australian version.
It's the Australian version. Yep. That's how.
We'll get Lucy to review that version.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Everybody.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
So Spider-Man works.
A classic video game turned 25 this week. Does anybody know what it was?
25. What year was that? Give me a hint.
Well, 1993. A classic video game was released this week, 25 years ago, here in North America.
I was one.
You were one.
It's not Sonic the Hedgehog,
It's not Sonic the Hedgehog, no.
but almost.
But it's not on that level either. But it's a beloved cult favorite. It is Treasure's first game.
Treasure's first game.
It is Gunstar Heroes.
I was thinking it's Gunstar Heroes.
Gunstar Heroes, 25 years old, Sega Genesis game. Mark and Jonathan, have you guys ever played this game?
No,
Are you guys aware of it?
Yeah, I played it.
I've heard of it.
I played it when it was available on the Wii Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Because of the high re-review IGN gave it.
Oh yeah.
I think IGN gave it like somewhere in the 9s, and I was
Well,
like,
it's
oh,
definitely
this must
like
be good.
yeah, it's definitely like a very well
Yeah.
it was well received at the time and still a very well remembered game from the Genesis library.
I played the what was it? The Game Boy Advance. Was it a sequel or a revival?
Yeah, it was like a new
or-
game. Yeah, it was like Gunstar Heroes
It was
Neo or something
yeah,
like that.
I played that more
Okay.
than the
Yeah.
original.
But yeah, that was Treasure's first game, and Treasure was made by guys that left Konami,
Yeah.
and you can totally see like what they had done with Contra leading into Gunstar Heroes.
This may have been, we may have talked about this on Scoop before, but Treasure is a company that's technically still around. It's not like, oh, they're defunct, they're out of business, but they're not, they haven't released a game in years.
Their last game was released in 2014.
Yeah.
For 3DS in Japan only. It was Geist Crusher God.
Oh, wow.
And now nobody knows, like,
Well, that
are they,
one.
guys,
They just-
is Treasure gone?
Like they just polished up Ikaruga and put it on the Switch and PS4, but like that doesn't take 4 years, I don't think. And they're certainly not going to make enough money to like fund a studio for 4 years.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
feels
know.
like the video game climate in 2018 would make it easier and better for like a cult hit house to, like Treasure to succeed. Like, release your smaller games on Switch for like this core audience that's really passionate about it, and PC, like make your money, make the next one.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know
all
what's-
kinds of people making weird like visual novels now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know what Treasure is up to these days, but
Someone let us know.
it's no, I don't think nobody knows.
No.
Not even Treasure.
Former 1UP and IGN personality Sam Kennedy mentioned this week that he thought Gunstar Heroes was his favorite 16-bit game. What do you guys think is your favorite 16-bit game? Justin's, I know. We all know it's Super Metroid.
Yeah, Super Mario World.
Super Mario World.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Is
that what you listened to when you were playing Super Mario World?
The classic
my
soundtrack.
top 3 video games. It was either Super Mario World or Portal 2 for the longest for the top.
It's not a 16-bit game.
But then now Mario 64 has taken over them all. So I think Super Mario World is either second or third.
Now, I like what you just said. Now Super Mario.
It's a lot of change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mario
Yeah,
64, I got into like, I don't know.
Oh, you're just saying favorite game ever. I was so
now
confused.
Now it's my favorite game ever.
Got it.
So it used to be either Mario World or Portal 2. And so now Mario World or Portal 2 is 2 and 3.
Okay.
But I don't know which. So I love them both so much.
The launch Super Nintendo game is your favorite
Yes.
16-bit game. It
It's
was
so
never
good.
topped. There was never a better.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
Is there?
Streets of Rage 2.
I think people make
Works
a
for me.
lot of arguments for Link to the Past.
Never played Link to the Past.
Oh, wow.
See you guys.
This guy.
I'm not a Zelda boy. I'm really not. I played Ocarina of Time, and that's a good game. And then I played it again on 3DS.
Good game. Yeah.
That's my review for Zelda
GG,
Ocarina of Time. And then I played Breath of the Wild,
I've heard of it.
which is great.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
I think Ocarina is harder to appreciate now if you didn't experience it when it came out than Link to the Past. I think Link to the Past is
Yeah.
easier
Yeah.
to go back to.
We've talked about this before. 16-bit graphics have aged better than the early 3D
Yeah.
Absolutely.
visuals. Jonathan, have you been able to spend much time with 16-bit games?
Yeah, Portal 2 is definitely
Portal
my
2,
favorite, I think,
yes.
of all of
That's a
them.
good
Right up
16-bit
there.
game.
Yeah.
I never owned an SNES originally when I was growing up, so I came to a lot of stuff late, and then even explored a few when the SNES Classic came out, and found a few things there. But Mario World was something that I picked up when it was on the Game Boy Advance. They did that re-release
Yeah.
for it.
That's when I played Mario World as well.
That's how I discovered a lot of things, was when they were re-releasing stuff there. And Mario World honestly still is not number 2 or 3 for
fun.
me, but it's
It's fun.
up there in my like top 10 games of all time. I adore that
fun.
game.
I was a Genesis kid growing up, and I didn't get my Super Nintendo until pretty late, like after the PS1 had came out. You know, it was that glorious thing where you get a console for like $60, and then all the games are $10, and then you just. Then, if you're like me, you lay them all out and roll around in them.
Yep.
And so that's when
It's a hot Iowa summer. They're all sticking to you.
oh, it's great. You just one still on your back.
Like days later.
Yeah.
It's
What the heck?
Now I don't remember what point I was trying to
I
make.
That's
played
your
I played the SNES Mini,
Yeah.
but the only thing I played on it so far is Earthbound.
Ooh.
And that's a fun video game.
That's a really cool game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Did you know there are other games on it besides Earthbound?
I know that now because you just told me.
Yeah.
I thought it was an
boy.
Earthbound.
Thought you were just
I
buying
thought
an
it was an
Earthbound
Earthbound machine.
I tried to play F-Zero on the SNES Classic. Boy,
Yeah?
that game is very different than I remember.
Really?
The
Really?
original.
I would imagine that would still be fun in the same way that pole position is still fun.
I don't know, man. Like you're pinballing all around. It's also like you can beat like the first 2 cups are fun, and then after that, it's impossible.
It gets super hard, yeah.
So, what's your favorite Genesis game?
Ooh, that is a good question. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Get back to us.
Maybe Phantasy Star 4?
Wow. Going RPG. Yeah, JRPG. You just said you're a
Yeah.
big fan of the JRPGs.
Took them no time at all to get back to us.
That's true.
It's great.
I mean, I always make
appreciate
fun of
that.
Sonic.
That's an answer.
I make fun of Sonic so much, but I played a lot of like Sonic 3.
Yeah, Sonic's
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was 3D Blast on the Genesis?
Yeah.
I played that a lot for some reason.
And Spinball,
Oh, yeah.
Pinball game.
if you want it. It's there.
Take it.
I'm probably Mortal Kombat 3. I don't know. I'll keep thinking about it.
Okay. All right. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like John in Charlotte, North Carolina did. He says, medium time listener, first time writer. I've enjoyed listening to your podcast for a while now, mainly when I go out for a jog. Who says video games can't help you stay in shape? For extra material, I've been working my way through a lot of the past episodes archive. I'm currently up to late 2015. Jonathan, Mark, were you guys with us in late 2015?
Yeah, that's when I started.
That's when you started.
I was not. I was 2016, but I was listening.
You were listening, okay. Says, I've listened to several shows discuss how excellent Metal Gear Solid 5 is. I've never played, yes, I've never played a Metal Gear game before, but everything you describe about it grabs my interest. My question, given I know next to nothing about the Metal Gear franchise, other than there are some characters named Solid Snake and Big Boss, is it possible to jump into the series with this one and still appreciate it? Or is the mythos just too impenetrable at this point? I really can't see myself going back to playing any of the previous games, so are there any plot points or specific details that would make much difference in how much I enjoy this one?
Can sum it up pretty quickly, I think.
Oh, you can?
No, I can't at all.
Say,
5 was actually the first Metal Gear game I ever jumped into. I hadn't played the series before.
There you go.
And story-wise, yeah, there's definitely things that I missed, but on like a gameplay level, I think it's pretty easy to jump into that game.
It's mostly a systems-driven game to begin with.
Yep. Yeah, I've played 2 Metal Gear Solid games, the first one and 5.
Yeah.
And I loved 5. It's one of my favorite games of this generation.
But the first one, you mean Metal Gear Solid.
Is that not what I said?
Yeah, well, but there's Metal Gear.
There's
Yeah,
Metal
well, I played.
Gear.
I said
Okay.
played 2 Metal Gear Solid games.
Yeah.
The first one and 5.
All right.
So like not having played 2, 3, and 4 didn't diminish my enjoyment of that game at all. Yes, the story is nonsense. It's incomprehensible. There's just like all this crazy stuff. It's like stuff that looks cool on screen, but it doesn't make any sense that it's happening. But the gameplay loop is, you don't need to know any of the Metal Gear lore to get involved in the gameplay loop, and it is super, super satisfying.
It's crazy to me that they have not, obviously Konami's interests have changed a lot, but it's crazy that they never released the rest of those games on PS4 as a collection when they had the PS3 collection.
Was there never a Metal Gear? Wait.
All of
just
them
on
together.
PS4.
On PS4 specifically, yeah. They had the Legacy
to play
collection.
4, you have to get a PS3 out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff like that, like, I don't know, like Sly Collection or whatever, that like, oh, these games are back and they're on PS3. All these games, like now they're back and accessible again. Yeah. But now this cycle starts anew and now everyone's PS3 is in the closet and we didn't get PS4 versions of them. It's like, oh.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to sell them to us again.
I've never played Metal Gear just because I played the first one.
No Zelda,
like,
no Metal Gear.
I played the first one like back in the day, but like not like hardcore. And then so I didn't play 5 because I was like, I'm not going to know what's going on. But then I found out that most people that have played all the Metal Gears still didn't know what was going on in Metal Gear.
Oh
5.
yeah, that's the thing.
So
that's the
like,
big secret.
Why is he growing that weird horn? What's that about?
Nope.
It's like I should have just played it then.
Don't worry.
I'd have been confused with everyone.
Don't worry about that too much. No, don't let not having played the other games hold you back, John in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I tweeted about this recently. I don't remember if I brought it up on GameScoop, but I actually have a lot of anxiety about starting franchises midstream.
Yeah.
And I try to be, I'm sort of OCD. Well, I guess I shouldn't phrase it that way because it's not actual OCD, but just like every gamer, like when things aren't going in the right order, I like checking off the boxes, and I get stressed out about playing the second or third game in a franchise without playing the originals.
Yeah.
So then I go back and start the original, but oftentimes the original is like more mediocre, and it's not the game I wanted to play anyway.
Yeah.
And then I don't even end up playing the game that I actually wanted to play. Like, and I was so satisfied that I just sort of confessed that on social media and got dozens of replies of people being like, "Yes, that's why I don't play Assassin's Creed games." Like. Even if you know, like, they're pretty compartmentalized and these games are good about easing you in, like, in my mind, I know there's still going to be callbacks and things that I don't get and things of that nature, or even seeing the gameplay evolve, even if it's not storyline, like seeing the systems evolve and the things they add to it, like not appreciating that totally stresses me out. And it causes me to miss out on many long-running video game franchises.
That seems like a mental block you should try to get past.
Yeah,
or don't.
I hadn't played an Assassin's Creed since 4, but Origins looked so cool that I was just like, screw it, and I played Origins, and I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally pretty good about shifting into like screw it mode, especially as I get older. It's just like, well, life's too short. Just play whatever you want. Stop when you're not having fun anymore. But in the case of video games, I find it pretty hard.
Yeah, well, because I think you feel like you're missing out on fun. You're like, I like Origins, but would I have, or I like Metal Gear 5, but would I like it more if I knew what was going on?
Oh, for sure. And
so you feel like you're just like missing out.
As someone that wants to have like general video game like literacy, like it's hard to jump into the 5th game in a franchise without really understanding what preceded it.
Yeah, but like you also got to be realistic. Like it's not like playing a video game is a much bigger time investment than watching a movie, right? Yeah. So if a new Star Wars come out, you can catch up with Star Wars in a much shorter amount of time than you can catch up with Metal Gear starting from the beginning.
Well, and it's also easier, even with like a TV show where the investment can be 5 or 6 seasons, but it's usually much more accessible to jump into a TV show.
Or they even do like, previously on, like they do this sort of hammy stuff, but at least it's something. Like video games, for as insane as like, video game fans are, and I say this as I am one, they're obsessive and there's no limits to the amount of stuff that they'll catalog and categorize. Like, there's not really very wonderful tools for like helping someone jump into the new Assassin's Creed. And I'm thinking about like A Song of Ice and Fire books. There's a wiki, I think it's Tower of the Hand or something, where it gives you like a bullet point summary chapter by chapter. Like, these 3 things happened in this chapter. These 3 things happened in that chapter. So you can like, okay, I'm picking this book up after 6 months. Like, there's no like video game equivalent of like previously on, like, I don't know. That's actually a pretty interesting idea. Wonder if IGN
we do the IGN in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we do IGN in 5 minutes. But that's more of like an entertaining product than like
it hits all the like main story beats. Yeah.
It's true. And it's mostly just story, not like gameplay.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, play Yakuza 0. That's an excellent place to pick up the franchise.
If you're taking anything from this discussion.
Yeah.
Also play Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay.
It's really good.
We all own
Without
it now.
being
It was
afraid.
on PS Plus a few months ago.
We got snail mail this week. This is from Matthew in Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh.
It's half of a calendar. It's written on half of a calendar that I tore out. It says, "Dear GameScoop, greetings from a beach in Minnesota." Because it's on Lake Superior. I'm writing to ask, do you think Zelda Wind Waker, Skyward Sword,
Oh no.
or Mario Sunshine will ever be brought to Switch? I haven't played any of these games yet, but have wanted to since they came out. My dream is physical copies of all 3. I won't settle for less. Also, in my dream, Wizard of Legend and Celeste are in physical carts as well. Best wishes, Matthew Campa.
It's a tough one. I would love to see Sunshine again, but it's like it's Wii games that do kind of get trapped, and it's Sunshine's GameCube, but like the right trigger, the way it was designed is pressure touch, where the new triggers don't have that, and so like if Flood would only shoot a certain amount depending on how much you push down on it. The controller was designed for that game.
Yeah, but counterpoint, who really cares that much?
Wait, about the whole thing?
I mean, they
could adjust.
I don't know.
Like,
Just have it slowly ramp
turn
up
into
the amount of water
a time
That's what I'm
thing.
saying.
Yeah.
Is like, while I think it's doable, it's harder than just like making it. Like they have to create. Like, same way he says Skyward Sword, like the game completely motion.
Well, that's exactly, like, all joking aside, I've talked on Scoop before about I'm sort of concerned or dismayed at the number of classics that feel like they're going to be trapped on the Wii forever without being significantly reworked. Like 20 years from now, we're presumably going to be able to play every single Zelda game except for this one, because it's got these weird motion controls that feel like they're going to be weird to port in a modern context. Like, you're still going to be able to play A Link to the Past on every Nintendo device and probably your phone by then. But there's always going to be the asterisk next to like the Wii version, the motion control heavy versions of these games.
He says Wind Waker, right? Which
it's the greatest tragedy of our
because
time.
that came to
It's
Wii U,
on
not
that yet.
Switch.
Yeah, so I don't think that one's trapped in any sort of way.
That's the
It is
greatest
tragic
tragedy.
now. Yes, that's the greatest tragedy of the Switch, that Wind Waker has not been brought to it yet. I still have my Wii U set up because
play
of
Wind
Wind
Waker?
Waker, because it's my favorite Zelda.
Did you get that edition? Like that?
Yeah,
bundle?
I have the Wind Waker
That's
edition.
the one I got too.
It is my favorite Zelda. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I adore that game, and it bums me out that wonderful version of that game can't be brought over to the Switch. Like, it can.
It can. Just hasn't.
They just haven't. Yeah. And they have to at some point, I would imagine, but
I think we're going to get Sunshine. Odyssey made some reference to it, and there was the Sunshine, I think, outfits or whatever it was. And there were even rumors. I don't know where those rumors came from. Maybe they just came from the costumes, that there was going to be levels, like Sunshine levels ported over into Odyssey. I think because they're the same style of Mario game. Like Galaxy 1 and 2 brought it back to more like abstract platforming, whereas Sunshine was a much more like exploration and like poke and prod the world and see what you can find style of game, and brought the camera back behind Mario's shoulder again. So I think we're ripe to see Sunshine sort of come back, but I think Nintendo's being very measured about their platform not just being a port machine, and so that they're trying to balance that.
Yeah. I'm sure somewhere deep in Nintendo's Kyoto headquarters, there's a timeline where they do have like plans to bring back all these older games. It's just it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense from our perspective, like when they actually roll this stuff out.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are, plans way into the future to bring back some of this stuff. I would love to play Sunshine again. I haven't really played it since it was originally out. That Wind Waker Wii U version is fantastic. And then Skyward Sword is the only Zelda I've never played because I was so over the Wii when that came out.
Sunshine's half of a really great Mario game.
half of a really great Mario game. What half is missing?
Well, like half the stars are bullshit. Like half of them are really, really good, but then it's like there's so much filler. Like every single world had you chasing the Shadow Mario or whatever he was, and then finding the gold coin or the blue coins. I don't know. I
really liked Delfino Plaza back in the days.
Too. I love all that music, and I love the world design, and I love Flood, and I'm not trying to be like pejorative when I say like half of that game is really, really wonderful, but it's not worth trying to 100%.
I see what you're saying. We also found out that the Nintendo Switch online service is going to launch September 18th. And there's a Nintendo Direct happening about that tomorrow. So I know there'll be more information coming out of that. That's why I didn't really include it in the run-of show today. Nintendo Voice Chat will handle that tomorrow. Keeping with Nintendo here, we have an email from Matt from Birmingham, Alabama. He says, in its golden age, Nintendo was the leader in not only innovation, but also graphical design. Games like Link to the Past, Mario 3, Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, and many others come to mind. While Nintendo today is still innovative, I feel they rely heavily on nostalgia and their characters. Has Nintendo fallen behind as being the leading edge of the gaming industry? Love listening to the show. Keep up the good work.
Yes.
Okay. It is true that, so Nintendo had the 8-bit era all to itself with no real competitors to speak of. Sorry, Sega Master System. And it is true during the 8 and 16-bit eras, Nintendo led in both innovation and in graphics. I think they were head to head, neck and neck for a long time. The Genesis and the SNES, but SNES pulled out at the end. It was really, I think, when games started becoming more realistic with 3D games that Nintendo struggled to keep up because realism has never been Nintendo's thing. They've always been more cartoonish, right? Does that make sense?
I mean, he name dropped the Super Mario 64, but it's arguable. I mean, I think it's a much, much better game than anything that hit the PS1. But there was big discussions at the time about sort of the blurry 3D graphics that the N64 put forth and sort of the sharper and jaggier graphics that the PS1 output. Yeah. And I don't think there's like a clear consensus on like, one being more powerful or superior than the other from a graphical standpoint. So even as early as then, they were already kind of starting to fall behind. And then by the GameCube, they gave up.
I think maybe they were still trying with the GameCube. I think maybe it was the Wii when they were like, all right, we give up. We can't directly compete with PlayStation and Xbox anymore. We have to do something completely different. Yeah, and that worked out really well for them.
For me, like the answer to it, for my own view of it, is very complicated because they're not on the bleeding edge technology-wise in terms of the highest graphics and the highest fidelity, but they're not trying to anymore. Like you said with the Wii, that was sort of where that wasn't their interest anymore. But on the same side of that, they still are very invested in the art of their games and the design of everything. And I still think they're producing beautiful character designs and worlds and all these sorts of things. Yeah. But in terms of worrying about those being the highest fidelity thing out there, that's not their primary concern.
Also, they spoke about how they are trying to push technology forward and break new ground, just not in sort of the traditional, like pure horsepower. Their consoles are smaller and quieter and draw less power. Yeah. And like that requires R&D. Like that doesn't just happen. Like you have to make a deliberate effort, at a corporate level in order to have, a small, quiet, non-power sucking device. That, Sony and Xbox just aren't interested in doing that.
Yeah. Well, and the Switch just being handheld in general, like Breath of the Wild is a fully handheld game. Like that's not, I would assume that's not very easy to do, and they've done it. So it's like, it's not, and Breath of the Wild is gorgeous. I don't think anybody can say it's not. So as far as like polygon count, sure, but they're ahead in other ways, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still like occasionally, like obviously the Switch is handheld, right? Like no duh. Yeah. But it's still like, it like sort of hits me sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, like I can just take this game anywhere. Like, and that's unbelievable. Like that Mario and Zelda in particular, these games that feel huge and expansive and impressive. Like,
when I first played like Doom on the Switch here at work, I was like, it clearly looks worse. Like, why would anyone play this? And then I was like, oh yeah, because you can do this and go wherever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of
kind of cool.
In terms of being on the edge, like their concern is how you like the way you interact with their games, and whether it is making it on the go or at home, or with the Joy-Cons, or with Wii Motion, or now something like Labo. Like they're interested in looking at how people actually interact.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's smart because they kind of have no choice. Like they can't win a war of like pure horsepower. Like Sony and Microsoft are.
If you look at something like God of War. You know, I just can't. I don't think Nintendo has it in them. I don't think they're built up to create a game that looks like that.
And just the institutional knowledge that requires a team of experts doing just the HD texture work and all the rest of that, like Nintendo, like that doesn't just happen. Like they can't just snap their fingers and will into existence the ability to make games that look and feel like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a real artistic and engineering technical skill that's that,
but if
that
sales
Sony
numbers,
and Microsoft studios have built up over a decade.
Yeah. If sales numbers prove anything, it's that they don't really have to. That they're doing fine with what they're
They're doing fine now.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if you look at the life of Nintendo since the start of the NES, they like had really high peak and then kind of a slow
It pinballs around too.
decline over the next few generations where each generation sold less and less. And they really came back in a big way with the Wii.
Yeah.
Then kind of back down with the Wii U, but now they're like back into a comfortable place
But,
again.
but they're still here.
Yeah,
and
of course.
like,
and they're still
you know,
gonna be here.
Yeah.
Next
it
10,
does
20
feel
years.
like pulling a rabbit out of the hat, though, right? Like the Switch is overwhelmingly successful, and it's actually my console of choice. Like Switch and PC, like those are the two ways that I interact with video games most often. So I'm coming at this from a perspective of a fan. But that being said, like the Switch will end at some point, right? And maybe they'll do some Switch 2, like find some way to ride that wave. But it feels like as a company, like they sort of rely on a stunt that will carry them through a decade, and then they're gonna need another one. Like, I don't know, like what's like the 100-year vision, you know? Like,
well, because I think Wii was like it was like a huge spike and then just dropped off like towards the end there.
But maybe
I don't know about that. I think there was 2 or 3 years where it was extremely popular, I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's sort of unclear. Like the Switch is on that cusp. Like it could start to fade faster, or it could continue to have sustained success. I do think like the long term vision, the decades long vision, is a company that's focused on play and like new ways of play. Like they probably will be all right. Like they were not always a video game company, and maybe they won't be again in the future.
Maybe they'll get back into love hotels. Who knows? Now, Nick from Kalamazoo, Michigan, has a conspiracy theory. Or shift your mindset to Bethesda and Starfield.
Wait, give me a second. Done.
Okay. The long-running sort of like sci-fi RPG they've been working on that was officially revealed at E3. Yep. Nick says, what if the new Starfield game from Bethesda is really just the canceled Prey 2 being brought back to life under a new IP on current-gen consoles? Interested to hear what Camp Goose has to say. If everyone remembers, Prey 2 was shown off at E3
2011.
2011, I want to say.
I think it was 2011. I was at that E3 and I remember.
2011
I think it was
12.
It might be 12, yeah.
Well, no, because I think I saw it in the same demo session with Todd Howard that he showed off Skyrim.
Yes,
which is out 2011.
Yeah,
so I think it was 2011. And it was a very impressive demo. Like you were going to play a space bounty hunter hunting down people. And
that demo's amazing.
It's really, really good. And then, of course, the game was canceled. Now they've got this new sci-fi RPG they've been working on Starfield for a long time. I don't know. What are the chances that it's really just Prey 2?
None.
Yeah.
Slim to none.
Probably.
It's...
Even because they've even relaunched Prey. Like we have Prey again now.
Yes, yeah. And I assume the intentions of that Prey were very different from what the intentions of Starfield are going to be. Like the
we have only seen a logo for Starfield, right?
Yep.
A 10-second little
and a ship doing a space flying.
Starfield's coming before Elder Scrolls 6? I forget the order that they announced.
I don't think we know.
I think
they showed in their E3 showcase. I think it showed Elder Scrolls 6 first.
I got the impression. I would have to go back and listen to Todd Howard's actual quote, but I think Starfield is their next, like following Fallout 76. That's like their next big game.
Really?
Whatever order they were shown in, the way he spoke about them was like, this is the thing beyond, and then this is the thing beyond that beyond.
Exactly.
Like we're going really far out with those.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whenever we see Starfield gameplay, I don't know. We'll see if it looks like Prey 2, but I would imagine
that Prey 2 demo was.
We never did get that game.
I mean, Cyberpunk is going to scratch that itch for me.
I think you're right about that. All right, that brings us to Video Game 20 Questions. Our suggestion this week comes from Jesse, right here in California. That's the questioning begin.
Do you, does your character wear a head covering? Anything covering their head?
You can.
You can wear something on your head.
Yeah.
I love that has gone from hat to head cover.
This is a saga. It's ongoing. We're in living history right now.
Last time I was here, it was just a hat. Just a simple
The situation is evolving.
I'm not very good at this game yet, so I'll just go with the easy questions, which is, does this game come out after January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Was this game a console exclusive or platform exclusive? Excuse me.
No.
Is this game on the PS4 and Xbox One and Switch generation of consoles?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. That narrows it down.
I just realized that after 2000 question is like, that's still 18
Yeah,
years.
in my head,
Now it is.
I'm like, okay, about 10 or 11 years of video game history, and I'm like, nope. Not even.
It also messes people up because there were
what's
still
generation.
Nintendo 64 games released after
Right,
2000.
right. Doesn't nail it down. Okay, let's see. So is this game first party?
Well, it's not a. Hold on.
We established it's not
Multi-platform.
platform exclusive. So yeah, it's
We said
multi-platform.
it is multi-platform. Okay, never mind. Scratch that question. Is this game made? Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm not good at this game yet. I have not had a lot of practice. I don't know the question you guys ask.
You just gotta
You
practice.
can ask whatever you want, man. You're your own man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whatever's going to help you get there.
Do you create a character in this game?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh,
Is this game first person?
No.
Does this game involve an action set piece set to Kanye West music?
No, I don't think so.
Wasn't that last gen?
I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't. You know what?
It's one.
I know what you're
You know what the
talking
big secret about this game is? It doesn't matter.
What?
At all. You can just do whatever you want.
So it's like, whose line is it anyway? The points don't really matter. Let's see.
I was thinking of Saints Row.
Yeah. No, Saints Row 3 is the power.
Is this game open world?
Good question.
No.
No.
Not
But you
open
create a
But
character.
you create a character.
Not a lot of non-open
Yeah.
world games where you make a character.
Probably Batman, Arkham Knight. No, it's probably not.
create your Batman. And we established it's not first person.
Not first person.
Okay.
Third-person game where you create a character, not in an open world.
Open world.
But multi-platform.
Cloudberry Kingdom.
Seems so not sure about that question.
So we
It's
I'm
not
a little
I mean,
worried.
I don't want this to come back and bite me in the ass.
We're gonna go down. rabbit hole.
Nobody has ever called this an open world game.
So
okay.
well, maybe it's one of those like weirdo games where like technically,
Yeah.
maybe you could like go back and go around, but like that's
It's kind of like I'm not saying it's Tomb Raider, but kind of like Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's like, are they open world?
I mean, or a game like I'm trying to think of an example. A game where it's like it's a straight line and there's nothing stopping you from
Right.
going back to the beginning except that there's nothing there.
Like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
You just go
Yeah.
all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that.
yeah.
Is this game made by Ubisoft?
No.
Okay.
They only make open world games, Jonathan.
No, some things not.
That's on current gen consoles.
They just make so many things where you can create characters or
That's true.
customize.
That's true. You can't stop Ubisoft from letting you create your character.
Can't stop them from giving.
Do you shoot guns in this game?
Yes. That's 10.
That's what gun shooting looks like.
Shooting
What
a
it
gun.
looks like when
Yeah.
you shoot a gun. Man. Okay. So
Could
you
be
create a-
Bethesda, but Fallout's
first
first.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Generally.
well,
played in
and
first
I
person.
can't think of a Bethesda. Well,
Let's think of
I
Fallout
guess
4.
Bethesda Publishing. Well, you can't create your character in any of those games.
You pick a character and pray.
Right. Ooh.
Can you put a head covering on
Can
them?
your head be covered?
You probably wear a helmet at some point in that game.
Is that open world?
Exactly.
Hey,
That's why.
that- yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I would call that an open world. You're wandering around that space.
Okay, so he
station.
said it's a Ubisoft game. Is this game published by Bethesda?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not Prey, guys.
It could be. You can't be Spider-Man. You don't pick your Peter Parker.
No.
Not in this one.
You do
Pick-
put different head coverings on.
Pick
him,
your Parker.
Yeah.
He said you can. In Spider-Man, you can't not.
though. True. True. So third-person shooter.
Also, very open world.
Yeah. Not open world head covering. No.
I'm gonna-
If you have something.
Is this
jump in.
game part of a franchise?
No.
Oh.
Why did you say it like that?
Why did I say it like that? Yeah.
It's a tough.
No, so like,
It's a tough one, boys.
there's no other. Yeah, it's not part of the franchise.
All right.
I hate that we're probably missing something very
We don't know
obvious.
that it's a 3D game. It could be a 2D game.
True.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to think of 2D shooty
Shooty games.
That's this new mobile game I've been playing, 2D Shooty.
Shooty.
Dude, like 2D shooty
Shooty.
is actually a pretty good name for.
I know. You've got to stop saying these things on the show.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna start stealing them.
Mark, were you
These are
going
$1 million ideas.
Oh, I don't know how to like word. Okay, let's see. Is this game 3D?
Yes.
Oh, it's not a 2D shooting.
Was this game published by a Japanese publisher or company?
No.
Okay.
So it is Bethesda,
Not Bethesda,
the only
not
American
Ubisoft.
publisher. Activision. It's Call of Duty.
You put head coverings on your Call of Duty person?
It's a third person 3D.
Also
game.
third person.
Yeah,
All right.
forgot about that. EA games. What have they done
What have they done?
besides sports?
Does this game have multiplayer?
Star Wars.
Yes. That's 15.
Does okay?
Army of Two. That was last gen as well. That might have been 2
I was very impressed. I saw Army of Two cosplay at PAX this year.
Wow.
Anyway,
Were there 2 of them?
yeah.
Do you?
They're together.
I'm just one.
Good.
I'm one of the guys.
It's
from
Army of Two, but my friend bailed.
You know, Army of Two.
No, I don't know. Do you
Honestly,
go to
it's everything I could
space in this game?
I don't know.
Oh, man,
No, I don't think so.
We only have 4 questions left.
we're
Yeah.
boy.
we're done for.
This generation hasn't been that long. I'm a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's probably the Order 1886, guys.
That's a console exclusive.
Yeah.
That's true. So don't listen to me.
I could try narrowing down publishers still, or do you think that's a lost cause at this point?
I don't know.
You've been wrong up until now,
yeah.
Jonathan. So I don't know what to think
no-
anymore.
Mark, that's rude.
I just like my guiding principle is like, okay, let's say I find out it's an EA game. Like, what does that leave me with? Like, whatever's gonna help
Sure.
me. Like my mind is roiling.
Roiling.
and,
Roiling.
and anything that would like help settle it.
Was this game critically well received?
Yes.
Like I'm curious. Like I'm still hung up on the shooty. Like, is it? I don't know if it's like military like themed or if it's like I don't know, more like the Order style, like fantastical or sci-fi style. Although you don't go to space. So I think that's what you were getting at with that
Maybe
space
it's
question.
PUBG. You do shoot a gun. You do the running in the third person. Fortnite? Could be Fortnite. I was also thinking Fortnite.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this game a battle royale?
Yes.
Andres, yeah.
I did it, boys. Okay.
Do you drink
Okay.
slurp juice in this game?
I don't know.
Okay.
Could be
okay.
anything
In this
still.
game, do
Just two
Wait,
questions.
it's-
Two
it's-
questions.
It's,
Oh, wait,
got,
wait.
It's got to be Fortnite because it's third person. You can't be. Oh wait, no. PUBG is
yeah.
third person. Okay.
Wait,
Go.
did Thanos make a cameo in this game?
Yes.
Is it Fortnite?
Yes. 20th question. There you go. Fortnite.
I was like,
Only the biggest game in the world.
Yeah.
I was like, Damon would never do a battle royale. Well, that's the only thing that's adding
When
up.
I was thinking current gen, I wasn't thinking like right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, because before I said battle royale, I was going to say, are people still playing this like actively? And then that's where
That
it
would've been
led
a good
me
question.
to,
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe it's just a battle royale game.
Yeah. Yep.
Did I
Fortnite.
redeem myself for last time?
Yeah, I don't think you
I
did.
felt pretty.
I thought you guys got it last time you were on.
We did get it, but Sam said I got it wrong.
No, you need to
double-edged
do what I
sword.
do and just immediately forget about the whole thing when you leave the studio. You can't be carrying this
There you
around
go.
you can't be carrying this monkey
Those-
on your back for months.
Sam was like, I think you were wrong in those words, man. They've just stuck
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks now.
You've been such a different person.
rolls off you like water off a duck's
like,
back.
The one thing I didn't know it might trip you up is that Fortnite came out last year and was not battle royale. It's like
Yes.
sort of it didn't
Yeah.
blow up until this year when they added the battle, or in December or something. So I didn't know if that would trick you.
Slurp was that what you?
That wasn't me. That was Justin. But
Is
yeah.
there slurp juice in the game?
Yeah.
And you don't go to space in the game, do you?
I don't think so.
You ride on a
start
battle
in the
bus.
atmosphere.
In space?
Nope.
Okay, I didn't think so.
And maybe in just like the upper troposphere.
Good.
It's accurate.
It's a great
Yeah.
one.
Not actually in space
Yeah.
then.
Not that I know of.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had a lot of fun today. That is all the scoops we have for you this week. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. Hit me up with any questions you have about GameScoop 500. Hit Mark up with any questions you have.
I'm excited to see everyone there.
Everybody have fun playing games this weekend. Spider-Man, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's out on Friday. Yakuza, if you're still playing Yakuza, that's also cool.
I've been playing a lot of 2 Point Hospital. Fun game.
That's out too.
I've
Yeah,
heard good
fun
stuff.
game.
Now, are you a Theme Hospital fan?
I wasn't, but this
now
game's
you
pretty
play-
fun.
Yeah.
Like I saw the review. I happened to like look over an editor's shoulder, and I was like 8.5. Okay, I'll check it out. And it's pretty fun.
What's the best like disease or sickness you've seen in the game? Because they're all made up. They're all made up.
Like the Elvis one is cool. I love that it's like this character has lightheadedness, and so that their head is just a light bulb. Like so that is like super fun.
So it's basically just a whole game of dad jokes.
Yeah,
Sounds wonderful.
it's fun.
Jonathan, what are you playing in the wake of Spider-Man?
Tomb Raider has been sort of my fixation
Yeah.
at the moment. Just completed all the challenge tombs. I could do 100 more of those happily.
Yeah.
I never finished Rise, and so I feel like I can't start the new one
Same.
unless I go back and work my way through Rise.
I've played through the 2015 one multiple times. Never finished Rise, and now I feel like weird about Shadow.
I thought Rise was out in 2015.
Yeah, that was.
Or I'm sorry, the 2013 one.
13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reboot. I beat that one multiple times. Didn't finish Rise, so now I feel like weird.
Rise is also good. I don't like
That's
it.
what I was talking about before.
I don't like it quite as much as the first one, but Rise is also very good. Yeah. Anyway, these are all good games. Everybody should check out. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yep.
My name is Damon. This is IGN GameScoop, and we're out.